Just praying for audio.
Praying for audio.
T to the Da, son. It's tournament week, man. It feels like it's been in forever, and it's been hot, and I'm ready to get on the water.
Man, I haven't even wanted to fish. It's been so hot. It feels like we've been at winter, and it's really cool to start it off like this, man. We have a show tonight. We got some Truman hammers. We got the hammer. That's what I said in the post. Nobody caught that. But yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. Marriage life is going good. Haven't been
congrats,
strangled.
buddy.
Yeah, haven't been strangled yet. At least not that wasn't consensual. So it's all good.
Too much information there, buddy. Too much. All right, so let's take some housekeeping stuff real quick before I get too far. Of course, title sponsor for Missouri for MOYAK is Eco Fishing Shop. Sponsor highlight, we're going to talk about Croc Gator, and hopefully we can talk more about Croc Gator once we get Jared on here. But excited to have them as our sponsors. Croc Gator is a well-known bait company. If you haven't heard of their buzz baits, you haven't heard of buzz baits. So,
or you're just not from Missouri,
or that's possible too. That's possible too. The other thing too, Josh wanted me to get some announcements going. They're doing a barbecue at Bucksall Resort Friday night, 6 p.m. I saw Troy's doing some ribs. I think Josh is doing some potato salad. Should be a good time. So if you're bored Friday night, come over there, hang out. Got the grassroots tournament on Council Bluff Lake coming up. Josh was saying that it's pretty spotty cell service, so just be kind of mindful of that. And then off limits for that starts on Sunday too. So if you're not pre-fishing, tomorrow or Friday, it's off limits until then. So, have you fished in those grassroots series yet?
I haven't. I got a bathtub, man. I can't do it. Do it. You can come and go to Eco. We need to go to Eco Fishing Shop in Camdenton, Missouri, and be able to try to get me a kayak that I'll be able to maybe do one of them events on.
That thing paddles, doesn't it?
Sure.
Sure, he says. Come on, that'd be fun to watch, buddy.
I've done it twice after my battery died.
You just need to get into one spot and
that's all you got to do.
Hang out. Yeah, just get there. Just fish the ramp, whatever you want to do.
What's crazy is I'll probably win doing that.
Yeah, I mean, you'll take all the thinking out of it and you'll be good, buddy. Just do that.
I do have an award tonight, guys. So speaking of Croc Gator, we got the 1/4 ounce buzz bait. Also have a spinner bait by War Eagle, and also a kind of hard to get Ryugi for your wacky fans out there and Nico fans. It's a 1/0 hook. You have to be at awards to be able to get this. It's not something I'm going to bring to next award. You have to be in person at awards, and there will be a question tonight, guys. Just send me a Facebook message, or if you have my phone number. Don't answer on here. It don't matter. The first person that sends that with the correct answer will win these 3, and I will bring them to awards. If you don't plan on being at awards, if you come to the cook-off, I will be able to give you there, but it has to be in person this weekend.
So might as well pay attention. Start taking notes now. Before we bring Emily on here, let's jump into the standings. So nice, cool thing. Troy works really hard on our website here. So you can get on here, check out the standings. Our top 3 in the Elite Series, Micah Funderburg's leading it, Tyler Alexander, Rich McMichael. Those guys have been there just about all year long, just hanging out. It's cool to see them competing. On the team side, Everhart's A-team wants his luck and scope and hope. So you got Chad and Chris up there up top, Micah and Spencer, and then myself and Zachary. So pretty good stuff. As we talked about, grassroots series is going on. Council Bluffs next Sunday. Jason Shiflett, Doug Wright, Craig Mueller. Looks like Jason's having a pretty good time over there, but he's having fun with that one. And then your online, your river series. River series again, Zach Bray, Tyler Coakley, Craig Mueller. Seems like Zach and Tyler are just going to battle out all year long and see who comes out on top. So it'll be interesting. And then your online AOY, you got Andrew Fritz, Jake Pruitt, Andrew Fritz, and Mr. Trey Dawson, dude. You're in that online mix. Are you gonna be able to hold
No, probably not. I can't. I don't have the time to catch them. I just wanted to do it as a qualifier for the All-American. So
did you sign up for this month?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. At least maybe you'll get. I guess if you catch some fish, you'll get some points.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what I'm banking on, is putting up 105 on Saturday and maybe having a shot. Shout out to Zach though, dude. He came out the first day last month, put up 103 inches like it wasn't nothing. It was crazy.
That's cool. Good for him. Well, I'll let you and Emily get going, do our angler spotlight,
Really
and
cool.
I'll bring her on, and then I'll step in the background.
Emily Mosquez, the one and only.
Hey.
Upset Queen of Missouri. Fun fact, guys, with Emily, I contacted her a few days ago asking her if she wanted to do this, and I had first reached out to her husband, which we all know, Trevor Mosquez. If you guys haven't checked out their channel, check out their channel. They are just swinging on them in every one. So it's really cool. And he was like, yeah, I really don't know if she's going to do it, man. And I contacted her and she said, it's not really my thing. And I think everyone knows you. That's the really cool thing, is you have been a constant at all the awards. You have been a constant everywhere, regardless if you don't put up the inches you think you should have, or you do really well. You are always there and you're always smiling. So I guess just tell us who, like, we kind of know who you are when you fish. We always know you and Trevor are kind of right there, a team. But who are you? Like, are you a mom? Where do you work? What's your passion? Like, other than fishing, what do you love?
I'm a cat mom recently. We got cats last year. But I mean, obviously I enjoy fishing. I've always fished, and I'm from Washington, Missouri. I grew up fishing, and I like to draw. That's one of my other hobbies that I enjoy doing. And yeah.
So you kind of always liked fishing. And a question I had to kind of start this off is, with you and Trevor, husband and wife, fishing family, do you feel like that has strengthened your relationship? Like being on the water and being able to do these events and you guys being able to have this, that has to be something that you guys bond over.
Oh yeah, for sure. And to me, a lot of it just speaks on the fact that, like, he's willing to share this hobby of his. I think hobbies can be hard for some people to share. They tend to be something you do by yourself for that alone time, and I think it can be hard for people to share it, let alone share it in the extent that we share it, and share it with your spouse and also compete with your spouse. So it definitely has created this really cool dynamic for us that, like, we're constantly supporting each other and also competing at the same time. So it's made us closer in that aspect for sure, and just having that support.
So knowing you guys have had pretty much a lot of history now on all the lakes that we fish, let's say it's the night before, you fished this lake 2 or 3 times. He's fished this lake 2 or 3 times. You're like, hey, we need to go here. And he's like, no, but we should go here. How often does that happen? And how do you guys settle that?
It doesn't really happen at all. I mean, he picks where we go usually, and I just go with it, and he's definitely like the pre-fishing guy, and I'm just kind of like, I'll just go whenever. But if like there is a spot that I particularly want to go that's the opposite way, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go that way. But we really don't run into that too much, and I'm totally fine, like, if we're just fun fishing and stuff, just fishing behind him. We don't really run into that too much.
Do you find yourself that you catch more fish or bigger fish when you're not fishing by him, when you go your own way and start going somewhere else?
Sometimes, yeah. And then it's kind of fun to like meet up and see, where we're at.
Awesome. What's your go-to bait? Let's say you had to go out Saturday and you just had to pick one thing. You had to pick one thing to throw all day long. What are you most comfortable with?
Well, it used to be that sleeper crawl that I fished forever and a day, but that's broke my heart too many times. I've lost too many fish on that. So right now it's the brush hog and the fatty Z.
Okay. Okay. Do you have a go-to color?
Green pumpkin, blue.
Can you tell me what was the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you on the water? Or I'll even let you punt and say what's happened to Trevor on the water.
I think I do something embarrassing every single tournament. If anybody see me fish, they probably are like, yep, there she goes again. But the most recent thing, I guess, for me was I had foot steering, and I was having issues with my foot steering. Like, it was windy, and I was trying to make some sharp turns and stuff. And I used to put my catch board on the side of my seat, and I had it a little too far forward. And I was getting so frustrated that I couldn't make those sharp turns. And I called Trevor over there to help me figure it out, and it was just the catch board that it was catching on. So I don't put my catch board there no more.
And he probably let you know that. He said, yeah, it's your catch board.
Yeah.
Well, Emily, I appreciate it. Just one more question. If there's someone out there listening today that maybe it's a lady, somebody that's new to fishing, or if you can have some advice on what it takes to start and kind of what fishing has done for you, what would that be?
Just to get out there. I mean, I can't say that I would have done this if it wasn't for Trevor. I definitely don't have that confidence in that area. But it's well worth like going out of your comfort zone and, doing this in a field where it's primarily guys. It's worth it. It's a lot of fun.
Emily, thank you. For me personally, regardless, I typically don't always have a great day on the water, but when I see you at awards, you always just make me smile. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you being part of this club. And so.
Well, I appreciate that. Same to you.
Yeah. Okay. JD, back to you.
Emily, anybody you want to shout out? Any sponsors you got? Any thank yous or anything like that, man? Like a girl, excuse me.
I guess Eco Fishing Shop is a good one to shout out. They're pretty great there. And then Jackson Kayak Fishing too as well. And then, of course, Trevor and all of my family too. They're all just wonderful support.
Give a shout out to your YouTube page. What is that again? People that want to tune in and watch you swing on them?
TM_outdoors with a Z.
Nice.
Thank you, Emily. We'll see you this weekend.
Thank you.
You're absolutely right. Every time I see her and Trevor at awards, it's always she's happy. She's like, I lost them, but I had a great time. And then it's always fun to hear how she beat Trevor or caught big fish or caught one in front of him or, stuff like that. So it's
I want to say she's beat Trevor. She's been beating Trevor more and more.
You said competition. I was about to jump in there. I'm like, is it really competition? Or
I'm just saying. I don't have the stats in front of me, but from what I hear when I go in there and just kind of ask, you poke around.
Yeah,
I feel like she's getting up there on him a little bit.
Oh, good stuff. Really appreciate it, Emily, for coming on here. Thanks, Trevor, for allowing her to get out of the kitchen. I don't even know if I can say that. It sounds kind of messed up, but thanks, Trevor.
Trevor's probably the one in the kitchen.
He probably is. He probably is.
With that hook set, I don't think he gives her much smoke, dude.
Oh, here we go. Trevor's got it. She's only beat 3 times, fellas. Huh?
We're not listening to you.
All right. Anyways, all right. Let's get on to the juice. Trey, I want you to introduce these gentlemen, and I'll bring them on, and let's go from there, buddy.
Yeah. So, man, I'll start first, bottom left. I have not known this guy. I've heard of this guy, Buddy Levi Evans, who fishes the Solo Pro Series. But listen, at Stockton, at Stockton, I'm fishing, and I have this Oh my God. Yeah. This guy.
We're trying to be we're all professional. We actually have audio on this episode.
I couldn't hear nothing, so I wanted a better
there.
view.
Oh gosh.
Get out of here. We're talking about Kevin.
What?
Get out of here. Go back to Nebraska.
Yeah,
technical difficulties happening again.
Oh my God.
Kevin,
get out of
here.
here.
Truman card. That guy can do it. You're not allowed to fish Truman. Anyways, guys.
Back to Kevin.
I'm fishing Stockton. As we all know as kayakers, a lot of times, boats come up on us and they kind of have the right of way. Kevin pulled up, really respectable distance, and he said, "Hey man, you mind if I fish right around here?" And I think it was his daughter or somebody that was with him. He said he really wants to catch a smallie, and he probably saying that gives the idea of probably where I was at. But super respectful, and I just felt his energy, and I knew he was a hammer just by looking at him. But it was really cool just sharing that little piece of water with him, and then learning that he was from Truman. Later on, then talking to my buddy Levi Evans, and he's like, "Yeah, man, that dude is awesome." And he's a hammer, and then hearing that this incredible bag, I can't say a number. I want to say it was 26, 28 pounds Truman, and closer to the winter solo pro, and then came off a great season with solo. And just if you know anything about Truman fishing, Kevin's always in that. Kevin's in that mix. Kevin's always in that conversation. So Kevin.
Hi guys, how are you? That was quite the introduction, though.
I was wondering if he's going to let you talk or not.
Yeah, and actually that was my girlfriend, not my daughter. But you'll like hearing that.
I'm gonna go over here now.
Kevin, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Tell us kind of your background in fishing and what you got going on, man.
I just kind of grew up in the area. I've been here in Benton County on Truman Lake and Lake of the Ozarks my entire life. And I actually work at a neighboring school district in Lincoln, Missouri. And so I've been blessed to be close and been fishing since I was old enough to fish. My grandpa used to take me out. We'd go out in a 12-foot John boat and crappie fish and kind of just grew up doing that. And I think in 2002, I bought my first bass boat and fished my first tournament in December of 2002.
They can.
So I've been fishing ever since. Jared trying to talk over me?
No, I don't think he can hear you.
No.
Here we go again.
Put on my phone that you can hear.
I'm gonna mute Jared for a second. Go ahead, Kevin. Keep going.
But basically, I joined a bass club here locally, and that was in 2002, and started fishing at the bass club level, and I got the kind of hit it hard, I guess, at the beginning. I won my very first tournament I ever fished, and I guess ever since then, I just spent thousands and thousands of dollars continuing to do it. So just been real blessed to live close to the lake, and I keep fishing as much as I can. Kind of with my career, it's kept me more locally. I'm a school superintendent, so I don't have a whole lot of time off. And so I pretty much just fish locally. And just the last year or two, especially this year with the solo series, I've tried getting out and fishing a little bit more of that. But for the most part, I've just kind of fished Truman Lake in the last 10, 15 years exclusively.
I've got a question for you. And so what is your biggest bass ever on Truman that you put on a scale?
An 858, I caught it in a tournament. And that was in February, I believe 4 years ago. So wintertime seems to be when the big girls show up. I seem to catch them.
JD, do we know if Jared's got audio now?
So he can hear us through Tyler's mic, and we can hear him, but he just can't hear us right now. So okay. Let's just keep going with Kevin right now, and then maybe we'll bring in Jared here in a second. But hopefully, literally let's jump into Truman and talk to us. What you're seeing on the lake. What do you recommend? All that good stuff right now.
Well, I've been traveling quite a bit with the solo series. We had 2 tournaments in the last month, so I hadn't been on Truman a whole lot. Had a chance to go out this past Monday to check things out. The lake is a foot about a foot and a half high right now. Still got a lot of watercolor on the lake. The lower palmy arm is little palmy, starting to clean up. But the majority of the lake's still pretty dirty from what it's usually at. Little Tebow starting to clean up, that lower Tebow. But that Osage is still really dirty. And I had a really good day on Monday when I went out. Had several keepers. I had a 5.4. That was my biggest fish. Most of the fish I'm catching was just 2.5, 3 pounds. And most part, all that was offshore.
I mean, the water's come down quite a bit from the spring, of course. You know, last time we were on Truman, it was high and dirty and muddy. Are they still pulling a lot of water and moving, you know, that water out?
I think last week they really sucked it down. And once we start getting about level or normal pool, they'll slow down. And then on the weekends, they hardly run current at all. And so you'll catch them during the week when they're running it, and then they shut it off on the weekends and we have no current. So you've got to kind of learn how to adjust and adapt to it. I've seen a lot of people struggle, you know, they'll catch them and then on tournament day they struggle. But I think Monday the water was off. If they were generating, they were generating very little. Jared probably pays closer attention to that stuff than I do. I really try to just get out there and fish the conditions and on whatever's presented, because Truman changes so rapidly. They can bite this way today and they're going to bite completely different tomorrow or this weekend. And so for me, I try to fish an area of the lake that I enjoy, or maybe that I have some thought that they're, you know, that I believe in. And then I'll just try to focus on that general area. And so today they may be biting shallow, and then tomorrow they may be out deeper, but I'm still going to fish that same general area. That way I'm not running all over the lake. But someone had put a post on your Facebook page, I believe, yesterday or earlier today. And I mean, it hit the nail on the head. There are 3 ways that I would be chasing Truman right now, and it's very broad. But if I'm running up the creek arms, I'm going to be fishing shallow up the creek arms. And I'd be throwing a square bill, I'd be flipping, and I'd be throwing a buzz bait. And that sounds relatively simple, but on Truman, fish live shallow year round. It doesn't matter if the water temp's in the mid 80s or if it's in the mid 40s. They live shallow year round. And you can catch them that way. And my other way that I'd back off and I'd be fishing structure, whether it be brush piles or ledges, something off the bank, or I'd be flipping trees. And Truman used to have a very good summer suspend bite. And it seems like the last few years we haven't had a really good suspend bite. But when they do get out there, just really good fish come out of those suspended trees.
Wow. Kind of curious as far as like watercolor clarity. I mean, is it cleaned up? Is it still pretty dirty?
The majority of the lake's still dirty compared to where it normally is this time of the year, but it is starting to clean up. I mean, it's not chocolate milk like it was a month ago, so it has cleaned up. That suspend bite is always better in the cleaner water. I like to see 1 foot, 2 foot visibility for that suspend bite. And so I just don't know that that's going to happen just yet. So I don't think we have that kind of visibility yet. Not where I've been.
Do you ever have a lot of run-ins with kayaks on the water?
Oh yeah, we see them all the time. I see that Fosno guy all the time.
Where do you see him at?
I'm taking donations for that information.
I got cash money for you, buddy.
I do too. Buddy. I'll double whatever he's got. You can do both of us.
That'd be giving up two of our spots.
Yeah.
He gives up mine, he's giving up his.
We do see kayaks quite a bit, but we're all out there for the same purpose, and that's the enjoyment, and then hopefully to catch a fish.
Awesome. And just talk about, you talk about, the super detented. I believe that's not the Bulldogs. It's is it the Bulldogs? Lincoln
Cardinals.
Cardinals. Yeah. You said you had we were talking about this show this week, and you were talking about you had a thing with Lou's, and I want to say, was it Strike King? Was that the other one?
Yeah, we had product meetings tonight and last night.
That's awesome. So you're pretty heavily involved with them.
As much as I can be. I promote their stuff, and they've got some great stuff coming out.
Are you big on the Koike? Are you big on the Koike?
Jared and I were just talking about that about an hour ago. I bought my first ones. They came in on Monday.
Okay.
I've never thrown one.
Okay. I will tell you that it's not as easy to get that O-ring around that frog hook than they say it is. That is a chore.
Yeah. I know nothing about them. I'm not a big live scope guy. I rarely ever look at my fish. Fishing the solo series this year has been an eye-opener. I really had never caught an Alabama rig fish, an A-rig fish until this year. I'd never thrown a minnow. I never owned a glide bait. I spent more money on tackle this year preparing for the solo series than I probably spent in 10 years combined.
So if you have to say you're one way, if it's any time of the year and you just got to pick up one bait and you're fishing Truman that day, what are you picking up?
That young lady hit the nail on the head. It'd be a brush hog every day of the week. If I have to go out with one thing, it'd be a green pumpkin brush hog. Now, I love to throw a jig, and the other day I caught him on a 10-inch worm. I caught him on a brush hog. I caught him on a what else did I throw? Brush hog jig, and then another little worm, or 10-inch worm. Brush hog jig and a 10-inch worm. So they were biting everything that I threw. So I don't know that bait was really that big of a deal, but I catch a lot of fish on a green pumpkin brush hog.
I've heard people refer to Truman as not a pattern lake, more of a spot lake. Do you agree with that, or is that just something that I heard?
No, I agree with that, but I think there's a combination of the two. I think there are certain spots in certain areas of the lake that always produce fish, and you have to find that pattern that's within that spot. And once you find that, then you can duplicate it all over the lake. So I think it's a combination of the two, and I tell people all the time, we all throw the same baits. It's a matter of who can throw it where it needs to be at, where it needs to be thrown, and then feeling that bite when you need to feel it. Because I bet you everybody that comes to Truman knows to throw a green pumpkin brush hog. But there are definitely better ways of catching fish or capitalizing on utilizing that brush hog, if that makes any sense.
So when I think of a brush hog, and I'm really new to this, and we have a lot of new anglers. A lot of new anglers get into kayak fishing first. So when I hear the word brush hog, I think of like flipping bushes or like flipping a tree. I never think about dragging to me, it's like I only think of using a brush hog whenever things are really flooded and stuff like that. Is it like where's my thinking going wrong on that? And what are some other ways you can fish a brush hog that people maybe aren't familiar with?
I think I would throw the same lures that I would to a bush. And I know the last few months we've all been flipping bushes. I know you guys have traveled the same lakes I have, and we've had bushes everywhere. Whether it's a half-ounce jig or whether it's a worm or whether it's a brush hog, those are the same baits that I'm going to be casting. Most time I'm flipping a half-ounce jig, but I'll also have no problem casting that half-ounce jig and dragging it back. And some days they want it drug back, kind of like you're dragging a Carolina rig, and some days they want you popping it. Pop it and let it fall. Pop it and let it fall. And I'll do the same thing with the brush hog or the 10-inch worm. But I'm not the guy that has 15 rods out on the deck. I'm going to try to have the 6 that I really need, and I utilize them everywhere I go, as long as I can get by with the same weight. Now, sometimes I may be throwing a 1/4 ounce bullet weight, flipping, but I may want a 1/2 ounce weight if I'm dragging it. So that may be the only change that I really have would be in the weight.
And that's what my next question was going to be. And I think a lot of people get mixed up on it. Maybe this is too much information. Tell me if it is. But so I was rigging up some rods just now to leave tomorrow, and I'm rigging up a 10-inch worm, and I have these 1/2 ounce tungsten weights, and I have, a couple other ones. And I'm like, I don't know the difference. I don't know what to use when and where. And if there was just an all around weight to drag a 10-inch worm, or let's say to drag a brush hog, what would that weight be?
If I was trying to go with one weight, I'd probably go with a 3/8. Sometimes a quarter is just not quite enough, and a 1/2 ounce may be too big. As long as you can feel your bait hitting the bottom, then that's the weight you need. A lot of people go with the real big stuff, whether it be 1/2 or 5/8, because they want to feel it. And I feel like I get more bites by going with as light as I can possibly go, but I want to make sure that I can feel that bottom, and that 3/8 is probably there in the middle.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's the key, Trey. You just got to be able to feel it. I'm a 5/16 guy on everything, unless I can't feel it, or if I'm dragging, and that's when I'll go to a heavier weight, Carolina rig or a big worm if I'm dragging it. But as light as possible, but you got to be able to feel it. If you can't feel it, and that's a lot of guys' problem, they'll throw stuff and they don't feel the bite or are not anticipating the bite, and they miss the bites. I mean, I've gone right behind guys. Kevin has too, I'm sure. And it's just presentation and being able to feel the bite when you get it. You got to be able to capitalize. So if you're out of shape, make a crazy cast, you're better off not even making that cast sometimes, I think, if you ain't going to be able to feel it coming back, or if you're not going to be able to set the hook.
Yeah.
Trey, I'd ask you to introduce Jared, but I think we would probably run out of time here. So,
I mean, I don't know that he needs any introduction.
He does not.
Everhart's very own Halo Pro, Jared Fosno.
Yeah, Halo. Got to have a good rod to be able to feel that bite.
Got to feel it.
And it makes a difference.
Jared, you been fishing much this week?
You got a house full tonight, Jared?
No.
What are the misfits you got over behind you there?
Just got one tonight. Just Tyler. He just rolled in from Nebraska. Chad will be here tomorrow, and then Chris will be here tomorrow. They'll be staying. Chad's bringing the camper, going to camp in the front of the garage in the driveway, and the other guys will stay in the house. So, and I don't have any furniture. The wife bought 2 new couches, so they got hauled out so we can get the new ones on Friday. So we'll be hanging out in the garage or in the basement living room, I guess, this weekend.
Nice.
We'll have a good time.
What have you been up to, Jared? You been fishing?
No, I haven't. I've been back and forth to the chiropractor for over a week, nursing that. So I'm not even. I got the next 2 days off, but I'm probably not even going to be able to pre-fish. I have my brother's going to help me launch Saturday morning, and then Philip, the new GM at the store, which is a big bass fisherman, big boat guy, runs some tournament series, USA Bass and Series, and the Tuesday Nighters. He volunteered to come help me load up at the end of the day or whenever I have to quit because of my back. So, but we're going to try to get out there and get after it.
Now, I heard you have your brush piles on live feed in your garage. Can you show us them brush piles real quick?
Well, I got a big garment over here. I could tune them in, I guess.
Well, I thought you had them on like a big screen, just
You might want to
monitor.
get Kevin off there first because he probably fishes a few of them too. Yeah, the All-American a couple years ago, the first time I won the qualifier, and then I got to fish my first one and of course the water got high. But I ran out of fish. I had a couple guys up in the same 2-mile stretch, so I put out 28 beds that year, plus a few that I already had there. And now the last 2 years, the water's been up and muddy, and I haven't been able to fish them. So this is probably my first tournament that I'm going to get to go fish my brush piles on my little 2-mile milk run. So we'll see if it'll work or not.
It's not
A lot of work to not get to fish them yet.
It's like the worst news you could have told any of us.
You guys can come join me.
You know what, Jared? And I'm going to say that, man. And you know what? I know that you're 100%. I mean, that's just 100% who you are. early on, being able to message you and be like, hey, Jared, I don't know Truman. I've never been to Truman. And how you just help people out. I'm not saying you give them your number one spot, but you know what? You give them, you set people up for success. And I've heard that time after time. I've heard that with situations with Chad. I've heard that with situations with a lot of different anglers where you want to set people up for success. And I think that you get more joy off seeing somebody that maybe you're not even close to, but maybe you are close to, being able to go out and win a tournament on your lake on Truman. And I think that fills your cup in a way. And I think that just speaks of your character. So
back in the day, I used to be big in a site called crappie.com when I was touring all over the Midwest fishing crappie tournaments. And when I started at the store, I had guys from some of them an hour and a half away. And that was before fuel was expensive. But those guys, by the time they bought food for lunch and fuel and bait, would be $100 to $125 deep. And if they come down once a month and catch 3 crappie and then go home, the chances of them coming back is slim. But if I can send them to an area or say that, hey, I'm catching fish 8 foot down and 12 foot of water on the flats, and they go out and have a good, I've had many, many times guys that come back and just thank me, and then they'll come back more. And it ain't so much just for getting them to come in the store, but just to get guys to come back to the lake, because it promotes everything, all the businesses around. So it helps. And it's just gratifying, I think, to be able to help people out. And you don't have to give up the juice. I've won several tournaments where I've sent guys, hey, go fish the lower Grand, or hey, good bite in lower Pommy. And there's no way I'd ever go to them spots, definitely not my best spots, but I can go put guys where they can at least go catch fish and have a chance,
So working in a tackle store like Everhart's and being right there centrally located and everything, how do you stay away from the dock talk? How do you not let it get wrapped up? How do you not let it spin you out? And maybe it's just because you've been doing it for so long, but how do you avoid that?
That's part of it. Fishing the lake for 30 years, you kind of get your ways. And it's just like Kevin said, keep it to the basics. He's got 3 baits that he loves to throw. And it's the same thing with me. I throw one color of bait. Both the other 2 guests have said the same color, so it catches fish. And I've caught fish all over Missouri on the same baits. It's just confidence, So the dock talk, it's kind of fun to listen to, and you can pick up some little tidbits, on areas guys are catching them or whatever. But most of the bass guys, they ain't going to tell you a whole lot, and most of them, like me, I think when I tell people about what I'm doing, they don't believe it. So they're not even going to go try it. When I won Stockton on the pink Zara Spook, a couple of guys walked up to my truck, and when they walked off, they said, I think that guy cut all his baits off and retied before he came back. Because they didn't believe what I was throwing, and I won that tournament on some crazy stuff, but it's just what I always throw. So,
Jared, Jared, before I started working in Eco, I used to ask you a lot of questions about motors, about rigging, all that stuff. And seriously, thank you, because I understand, because now I got people asking me the same stuff. And it's always at the worst time when your battery's at 0 and you've got to be the nicest guy, and it's it's dinner with the family, but somebody's blowing up you on Messenger, and one, I'm sorry. First,
every night,
first, I'm sorry, but seriously, thank you, because it does. I totally get it from your side too, and it clicked for me the other day, and I'm like, I used to do this to Jared, asking him dumb questions.
It's cool because I've seen it with you in the last couple of years. Guys getting back on said, hey, man, if it wasn't for Dominguez, I was going to have to go home. Helping them out with a prop or a remote, different things, and it's kind of cool to be able to keep somebody in the game, for a day. Like that. So, and it cost me some time, and I get them, and it's kind of I've got too many friends over the years, and they all got my phone number, my messenger. So every day when I go to work, my first half hour usually is looking up prices or seeing if I have something in stock, and you're the same way, I'm sure, down there. So it's cool. A lot of fun.
Hey, Kevin, tell us a little bit about, I know you maybe had told them before, but on your solo pro win at Truman, what month was that? And how big a bag was that? Was that your first solo pro win?
That was the first one I ever fished. And it was in December, and we just had a cold spell that week, and it got bitterly cold. I think that morning we took off, it was like 36 degrees, and I believe at weigh-in it was 30, 32 degrees. It was cold. We had about 30-mile-an-hour wind. That tournament I had at a 21 and a half, maybe. I had one over 7 and one just under 7. The year before that, I had that almost 27 pounds, and I think that's what you were referring to.
Yeah.
But that was a December tournament, and they just turned on that jerk bait that week.
Is that when you caught your A-rig fish?
No, I've never thrown an A-rig on Truman. When I threw the A-rig was at Table Rock, which was in March, I believe.
And so your next solo pro, you have your state championship coming up. Is that right?
We have our championship coming up in September down at Stockton Lake.
Stockton, back on Stockton.
That could be a tough tournament, I think, but I could be wrong. I'll have to steal some of Jared's hot spots in that pink spook.
Yeah, you'll need it for that one. That thing's won big fish 3 years at Stockton in the kayak tournaments.
Wow.
All different months. Yeah.
Kevin, you ever been in a kayak?
I have not. I've been in just a regular paddle kayak that I had at the lake house, and that's been it.
Well, we have two of the number one dealers in Missouri right here. So
We get him in one with a motor and fish finder.
If I was in a kayak all day, I'd have back problems too.
Now, you wouldn't in these new ones. I mean, you set up. I mean, you don't sit, but you set up as high as you would in a boat with a normal seat. I mean, I've got lift kits. And Dominguez, he puts them on everybody's boats too, so it makes it easy to stand up and sit down. Like Chad fishes.
I've checked out those rigs; they're pretty nice.
Yeah, Chad, he fishes standing up all day in his, unless he's motoring to a spot.
but Chad's only 4'9", but yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's a little bit younger, maybe. I can't do it. I got to sit down, roll cast. Unless I'm flipping, I'll get up and stand up.
Yeah.
So I want to say the last Truman we had, Oshie Armstrong, was the winner of that. That's when I guess I think we were at forget where we had the awards for that one at. I think it was that lodge.
Yeah, or so.
So the last 4 events, can any of you, can you three, maybe not Kevin, if you know this, just can you tell me what the biggest limit ever caught on Truman in a MOYAK tournament was?
Over 100 inches, 100 and a quarter, I believe.
100 and a half. Jim Hardy.
Probably 21 pound bag, probably.
Yep. And I want to say the last 3 tournaments, it's took 81, 87. It's been in the mid 80s to be able to take the win. Jonathan probably has more accurate information.
Yeah.
But if you guys had to guess, you had to give a guess this weekend. I'll start with you, Kevin. If you kayak, we go with inches. What do you think it's going to take to win?
Well, you can even do it in pounds. We can convert it.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was done by inches. I thought it was done by weight, but I'm going to say 16 pounds would be pretty strong. So what do you think that would be, Jared?
Mid 80s.
Mid 80s. So yeah,
Mid to
it
upper
could be
80s.
someone could get on them, and the bigger ones are starting to bite. I think the last 3 weeks on the Tuesday night hog fights, there's been some 5s and 6s showed up. So
Yeah.
you'll see some 5 and 6s this weekend, but I'd say that 16 pounds, maybe a little bit better, would be pretty strong.
Yeah. I'm saying about 86 to 87. I mean, the potential's there for over 90. It'll just depend on if my brush piles pan out.
We'll know by 9 o'clock whenever you're loading up at 10 to go back to the garage.
Yeah, I probably will be done by 10. The last few I fished, I've been done by noon for sure. But I'd say, well, Kevin's right on with those 5 and 6 pounders, and all it takes is one of those. If you get one 20 and a half to 21 inch fish, it goes a long ways with 4, 14 and a half to 15 and a half inch fish. It'll keep you right in there, And if you can get lucky and catch 2 of those, then you're pushing 90 inches pretty quick. So
So knowing Truman history, do you if you had to guess, when do you think that 5.5, 6 pounder would come? Would it come first morning? Would it come in mid morning, or would it come in the afternoon?
You just never know. I mean, it could come top water in the morning, throwing a buzz bait, popper, walking bait. But most of my big fish I've always caught have always come later in the day. It seems like on Truman. The 5 whatever I caught in USA Bassin was in the last 20 minutes of the tournament. So you just never know.
The 5.4 that I had on Monday came around 2:00.
Yeah. So it'd have been right at the end of the day for us too. So
Mm-hmm.
you got to keep your head down for sure.
I just have one more question, Jonathan, coming from both of them. If you guys, it could be someone that's been fishing with us for years, or somebody this is their first year of fishing. If there's one piece of advice that you could give somebody, and it's 10 a.m. in the morning and they're struggling, they don't have a limit yet, what would that advice be when we're talking about your pond? I'll start with you, Kevin.
Well, first thing I would say is a person really needs to stick with their strengths and what they have confidence in. I've kind of lived through that this year, fishing the solo series and going to some of these lakes I don't have any experience in, trying to do stuff that everybody else is doing. If you're not good at it, it's going to be hard to do well with it. But also, don't be afraid to downsize in that dirty water. If you're just looking for a bite, you're losing your confidence, you're spinning yourself out. Don't be afraid to throw something smaller, whether it be a small little crankbait, whether it be a little square bill, or if you're up there dragging a little plastic bait. Don't be scared to drop from a brush hog to a baby brush hog or a little worm. And sometimes just getting a couple of bites, even if they're small bites, makes a big difference and will turn yourself around. So just stick with your strengths.
Yeah, he's right. He's right on the money. And the other thing that I can tell you, and I did it when I first started, when I was 17, 18, 19, trying to fish big boat tournaments for the first time, is chasing reports. If you cannot catch other people's fish, it's almost impossible to do. And it's the same thing with baits. And we just told you what we like to throw, but the whole key is throwing what you like to throw and you got confidence in. And same thing, if it's 10 o'clock and you don't have a fish in the boat, put everything down except for your number one confidence bait. And I don't care what lake in Missouri you're on, you're going to catch fish with it if you just keep it in your hand, For us, we've always fished Truman, so a brush hog or a H2 punch hog, I mean, it's just what we have confidence in. And I've caught fish on those from Bull Shoals to Table Rock, anywhere, Mark Twain, everywhere we go, So confidence is absolutely huge, more so than even areas, because you can catch fish anywhere on this lake. You may not catch the winning size fish everywhere on the lake, but if you don't have confidence in what you're throwing, the chances of you catching fish or mini fish is going to be slim. So I say just put every rod up except for the one or two that you got the most confidence in and throw it. So for me, it's a DT6 year round. I'll throw it year round on this lake. And then in a mid-sized brush hog or the 4 1/4 punch hog from H2 Bait Design. I mean, that's the ticket. Or this shaky head 7 1/4 from H2 Crocodigator. I've won thousands and thousands of dollars on that thing on a 5/16 head. When it gets tough, pick it up. It's going to catch fish. It may not catch the ones you want, but it's going to get a limit in the boat for you. So that's my confidence. Either cranking with the DT or this. But for everybody else, they can go throw that DT and may not catch a fish on it. A lot of it's confidence. And if you're throwing something you're not confident in, if you're not a shaky head guy and you're throwing it, you don't know what to pay attention for on those light bites, and you're not going to feel them. But if you're throwing a drop shot or a Nico, something you like to do, you're going to know the bite as soon as you feel it doing that. So that's more key, I think, too.
Good stuff there. Good stuff. Stick to your confidence stuff.
Absolutely.
Kevin, Jared, really appreciate you guys coming on here. Kevin, if you get bored Friday night or Saturday afternoon, feel free to come over to Bucksaw Resort and and hang out. There'll be some ribs there Friday night, and cold beers on Saturday. So, but feel free.
What time Saturday?
I think awards is at 4:30, something like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll be out there Saturday and come on and hang out and meet some kayakers. Maybe we'll even get you in one.
Yeah, we'd love to see you, Kevin.
All right,
I'm sure
guys.
there'll
Thank
be
you.
some food there too. And we got
One more thing for you guys. The question is, Kevin, don't tell them again, but we want to know what is the biggest bass Kevin has caught on Truman Lake. First person to message me that wins a little prize pack.
There you go.
Kevin, Jared, thank you guys. We'll see you guys later.
Yep. Thanks, buddy.
Yep. Thank you all. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Trey, I feel like most of these guys that talk about baits and talk about their confident stuff, I think they're talking to you, buddy. I think you like to chase them baits rather than them fish, and
I'm starting not to. Like I know, I mean, honestly, between me and you, like I'm really starting to stick to that shaky head, to that jig, and like I like a walking bait.
And I get it. It's hard to do. It's hard not to go buy stuff, new stuff, try it out and all that. It's tough to do. I get that.
Damn, Chris Wool got that quick, bro.
Oh, I already got a winner. Well, it should be a good time. Go ahead.
Are you practicing tomorrow?
No, man, I got to work all week, and I'm going to head down there Friday night, so I don't even get to pre-fish. I'm going in blind.
You going to the dam?
I don't know. It's going to be a Saturday morning decision and select a spot on the map and go. So, are you? Cool. Well, good. Good for you. I hope you catch them.
I just want a top 20. I just want to try to inch my way back into the Tanny 20. That'd be cool.
Watch out. Watch out.
All right.
Well, good stuff. Hey, again, Friday night, they're grilling out Bucksaw Resorts. Wards is there too. All that information on Attorney X. But Trey, thanks for being on here. And we'll see you Saturday.
Okay.
Later.